Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, with everything going on, and there has been a lot this morning, will continue to go on, we have been remiss to not even acknowledge that one of the greats, Neil Sedaka, passed away. We'll get to talking about that a little bit more. Right now, though, John Catsimatidis is in the studio, and we have KT McFarland, who is on the telephone. Welcome, both of you. I want to ask you both, and John, perhaps we can start with you, what the impact of these operations, the military operations that began today with Iran and Israel, United States against Iran, will have on shipping and oil, and then the broader impacts. This is a short segment, so I'm going to ask both of you to also hold so that we can discuss it with a little bit more length. John, what do you think?
Well, I spoke to our oil company, and they're up to date on everything. Crude oil is up about $2 a barrel this morning, because Iran is a little bit of insignificant in the world market. And they've become insignificant where all their product was going to China or Russia, and that's who was really buying it. So it won't have a big effect in the overall oil market. I mean, it has fluctuations, as we say. I think the big thing in KT, we're all getting up to date, because as of last night, and it didn't look like anything was going to happen in the next 24 hours. But President Trump, he presses the button when he feels like he wants to press the button. And the other great news is Saudi Arabia has joined our side. But KT is. She's been in Washington all her life, and she is the expert. KT, who is on our side and who's not?
Well, everybody's lining up with us. And as you point out, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf Arab countries, they're lining up with us. Europeans, a lot of them have lined up with us. I mean, look, the Trump haters are never going to line up with anything President Trump does. But the countries I'm looking for, are they going to make any noise? China and Russia have surprisingly been silent. Remember, it's the axis of evil. It's Iran, Russia, China. Those are the big allies. And so far, Russia and China are sitting this one out.
Well, why do you think?
Go ahead, Bo.
KT, why do you think they are sitting it out? Especially China. Russia, understandably, has their own problems in the Ukraine and beyond. But what is the stance of China with this?
Well, as John pointed out, where does Iranian oil go? Where does China get its oil? China has gotten oil from Iran on the Ghost Fleet tankers after the sanctions were imposed. But China increasingly gets all of its stuff, a lot of its energy from Russia. I think 95% of Russian energy and oil and gas now goes to China. China buys it at a greatly discounted price. But effectively, China is owning the Russian energy industry. Why? Because Russia needs the income to pay for the Ukraine war. So from China's perspective, if their energy needs are met by Russia, it's all about China. China first foreign policy. They're not going to get involved in something that looks like a bigger fight.
Now, that is something when we get back from the break that I would like to address with both of you and have your thoughts on. When you begin a military action, one of the axioms is you never know where it's going to end. What are the possibilities of this expanding into something that it right now is unforeseen, both on the positive side or perhaps on the negative side? So I'd like to ask both of you to just stay with us, and let's talk about that. If you're on hold, please stay on hold. We know you're there. 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. James Golden, Snurley with you here. It is the Saturday Extravaganza. And yes, coming up in the next hour of the Extravaganza, you will hear from our very own Princess Di. I believe Princess Di is going to talk about China as well. And we'll be hearing from America's small caffeinated mom, Rhonda Schrock, a little bit later in the show. But this, my friends, history is being made today. We are now, I don't know how else you call it, in a state of conflict. Serious combat with Iran. And by the way, President Trump is also warning that the United States may suffer some casualties, and we should not expect that this mission will not involve casualties. So stay right there. Don't go away. On the line with us, we have John Catsimatidis is in studio. KT McFarland graciously here with us as well. KT McFarland, by the way, has spent her life in the defense service of this country. A former deputy national security advisor, also worked for the Department of DOD. You see her all the time on television. We're fortunate to have you both here. I mentioned, and John is a movie star. Above everything else that John has done, he is now also a movie star. So what a roundtable we have here. I asked both of you before the break, what are the implications? What could happen that we don't expect? Every military encounter begun, you do it without knowing what the outcome could be. What are the possibilities? KT, let's start with you.
Well, I think President Trump has learned from the mistakes of the predecessors. So President Bush went in and toppled the Afghan government, toppled the Iraqi government, but also fired everybody who was working for that government, and also everybody who was in the military. And so what happened, the United States had to run those countries. I mean, not only in the military sense, but, things like water filtration systems. They had to run the administration of those countries. And that didn't work because all the people who've been fired then started an insurgency, and we fought a forever war in the Middle East with Afghanistan and Iraq. Forever wars we couldn't win. We spent trillions of dollars, got nothing to show for it, left in humiliation. And then look at what President Obama did. He did too little. He toppled the dictators in the Arab Spring, toppled the one or two senior leaders of countries across the Middle East, and then walked away. And then said, okay, it's up to you guys. Now you can have democratic elections and elect good leaders. And that didn't work because in the place of those dictators, there was insurgencies, there were civil wars, Islamic extremism grew up. So both of those ends of the spectrum were wrong. President Trump's doing something in the middle where he is decapitating not just the one or two top leaders of the military and of the political leadership. He's decapitating the whole top tier of everybody and decapitating their nuclear programs and halting their missile programs. And then, instead of U.S. running it, we're saying to the Iranian people, okay, it's up to you now. You will have to do it. Now, what comes next? Well, Iran will retaliate, which is what Iran is doing now, and that's why you have the Great Armada in the Middle East to lessen the attacks that Iran will be able to carry out. But President Trump had sort of set the stage for this a long time ago because Iran has no air defense system to speak of. So any missiles or plane, whatever we're doing to attack from the air of Iran, it has a free reign. There's nothing to stop it, no defense against it. And the other thing he's done is he's lined up the Arab allies in the region, the Saudis, Emiratis, etc. They're coming in on our side, along with Israel. So he's isolated Iran diplomatically. He's isolated Iran militarily. He's defanged Iran with the destruction of the proxies in the last several years, obviously with the help of Israel. So Iran is in the best shape it ever could, the weakest shape, from our perspective, the best shape. Iran is as weak as now as it has ever been, and now it's going to be up to the Iranian people.
Wow. John, do you see any downsides that could happen here?
No, but we should treat China with a little respect because they're depending on their oil from Iran, and you don't want to create a World War II operation. And KT, you're a historian more than I am, where one of the reasons for World War II, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor because we cut them out of oil.
Oil embargo. Yep, the oil embargo.
And China needs their oil. I mean, Russia could supply a lot of it to them. And, oil went up about $2 a barrel this morning. And the fact is that China is buying it at a 30 to 40% discount. So they're making $1 zillion on it, and Russia is depending on China to keep their budget going because the only thing they have to sell is oil. And when President Biden had oil up to $100 a barrel, let's remember this. They produced 10 million barrels a day, Russia. They were making $1 billion a day. That's more money than Russia ever saw before. Iran was making $1 zillion because Iran was producing 300,000 barrels a day under Trump 45 up to 2021. And all of a sudden, Biden allows them to do 3 million barrels a day. I mean, how do you say it from Brooklyn? How do you say it? The Biden administration created our own banana peel for the United States of America. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
Wow. Let me just ask you both, what good could come out of all of this? What could the world look like in the best possible scenario, KT McFarland?
The best possible scenario is that the Iranian senior leadership, like at the generals level, the political military leadership, they're gone. And then the lesser levels, as President Trump, in a brilliant statement where he made the case for the attack against Iran, going back throughout the history of how Iran has been the world's major source of instability and crises for the last 40 years. He then made the point to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which is their military, but their military controls at least a third, if not more, of their economy. It owns companies. And he said to them, lay down your arms. You're going to have complete amnesty. So the best possible world is that they've decapitated the senior leadership. The Revolutionary Guard lays down their arms and cooperates with us. The new leadership takes over. The United States works with Iran, as John very well pointed out, to develop their oil and help them sell their oil abroad and sell it to China and everybody else. That's the best world for Iran. It's peace in the Middle East. It's peace in Iran. It's no more nuclear weapons for Iran. It's no more missiles that could challenge the United States. It's no more proxy wars. But then the longer, bigger term perspective is that the United States will either control or have enormous influence on the world energy supply, whether it's our Gulf Arab partners, it's Venezuela, the United States, potentially Iran. And as John pointed out, whether it was World War II, started because the United States restricted Japan. Japan felt that it had no alternative but to attack the United States because of oil. World War I started because of energy, as the Germans wanted to make sure that they controlled the oil fields and the coal fields. World War II in Europe started because the Germans wanted to control the oil fields in Central Asia. Oil has been at the center of every major war and peace and prosperity for the last 100 years.
KT, I'm going to have to ask you to come back one day and explain World War I to me. And I'm glad you did it very succinctly there. I have been trying to understand the true origins of World War I almost my entire life. And I have not come up with a definitive. I still don't understand how it came to be. And I look at World War I and World War II as almost, though, the same war with just a brief. Yeah, with a pause. Yes. So, okay, well, we got to stop for a break here. Thank both of you very much. I want to grab some calls. People have been waiting over an hour, and grab some calls here, and we will continue. So thank you both. Appreciate the time for your being with us, and we will keep close track of events as throughout the day and throughout the weeks ahead on this. KT McFarland, John Catsimatidis, thank you both for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Bo.
May we have peace in the world and get rid of terrorism in the world and have a free world. And that's what we all want, is a free world.
Amen, John. Thank you. And thank you both. James Golden is inevitably here.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.